what's up you guys? So today I'm going to be discussing Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. So this is the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series. So if you want to know my thoughts on any of the earlier books, you can check that out. I'm going to link them up above in a card somewhere. So overall, I think I preferred Heir of Fire to Queen of Shadows, but I still did really enjoy Queen of Shadows. I really loved the characters again, the setting again. Those really are just my favorite things. I really love this world and I love how we are diving so much deeper into it with every book. I love how this book introduces even more new characters, and I love how it really helps to expand the world even more. And I like how this book really starts to flip everything on its head. I like how this book changes the overall dynamics between the characters. I love how we get to see some of the characters resolve some of their conflicts a little bit. So overall, strong book, strong 4th book in the series. I think that this book really is going to lead into the next part of the series really well, because we've kind of set the stage now at this point. Like, we know what's gonna happen. You know, in Throne of Glass, we still weren't really sure where this was gonna go. I mean, we had a guess that we were gonna take down the king, but now we kind of know where this is all going to lead, where this is all going to head, who our main bad guy is. And so for that reason, this book also further develops our villain character, and it further develops our villain's layer. I thought that was a really great addition to this book. Like, the new characters in this book were really some of my favorite characters in the series so far. So yeah, that's my kind of non-spoilery thoughts on this book. So I'm just gonna launch into my spoilery thoughts. So if you don't want to be spoiled, leave now or else I'm gonna spoil you. So bye. Queen of Shadows starts off where Heir of Fire left off, which is Celaena coming back. So Celaena comes back. She's really confused as to what's going on, which is very understandable because she has no clue that the king has Dorian in a bad place. No clue that Cole's on the run. She's just confused. It's fine. So she comes back and she is hunting for Arobynn, because in the last book she discovered Arobynn had one of the word keys. And something that I don't know if I mentioned in the last book talk is how she learned about the word keys and how that is what the king is looking for so that he can finish his conquest of the continent and of the entire world. So she is now going to be hunting these word keys to try to stop him. And so she discovered that she actually at one point had one of the word keys as a child in an amulet that had been left with her by her parents. And so when she was supposed to be assassinated, she took that with her and she wasn't assassinated, and so she had it. But it was taken from her by Arobynn. So Arobynn has one of the word keys, and so she has to get it back. So that's one of the things that she is kind of trying to do in this book. And so that's what her first thing that she is doing when she first starts off the book is she's trying to get this word key from Arobynn. So she leaves him essentially messages like, hey, come find me. And in doing that, he's able to try and get her back in his good graces by helping her to rescue Aedion. Because again, she just discovered that Aedion was captured. So she's trying to rescue him because he's her cousin and she still loves him. So as a cousin, they love each other like family members. I apologize for making it weird. So they are trying to rescue Aedion. They do rescue Aedion, obviously, and I thought that scene where they rescued Aedion was so awesome. I loved how it was so carefully orchestrated, and I really liked how we got the introduction of Lysandra and how she played a big role in that. And I really liked her introduction as a character overall, and I like how this is starting to tie into things that we learn in the Assassin's Blade, which I really don't remember much of what happened in it. I just remember some of the main characters like Lysandra and Ansel. So anyways, we're getting Lysandra back in this story, and I like her kind of being intertwined in it because I like how her and Celaena kind of come to terms with the fact that they were really pitted against each other as children, and that wasn't really fair to them. And I like that Celaena's able to get another female friend in her life because, you know, she's kind of missing that since Nehemia died. Like, she doesn't have a lot of friends. She has a lot of enemies and a lot of people who are into her or have been into her in the past. So it's just a rough time for her overall. She is in the process of rescuing Aedion. It's great. And then Rowan comes and he joins our people in Rifthold. So in Rifthold, we now got Aedion free, Rowan, Cole, Nesserin, Aelin, Lysandra. Like, those are our guys in Rifthold. And they're all kind of holed up at Celaena's place. While they're kind of holed up in Rifthold, they come up with a plan to take down Arobynn, and they do it, and it's awesome. And it's honestly just kind kind of satisfying to have Arabin be taken down because like he was not a great guy, and it's so fulfilling, especially given everything that happened with Sam and with her past. So it really just kind of ties a nice bow on her past and puts that in her past. And so now she's able to move on and really come into her own as Aelin and build her court. And so that's kind of what she's doing. Now, the next major thing that they want to tackle is they want to bring back magic, and they also kind of want to kill Dorian but also rescue him. So Cole is really on the I'm gonna rescue Dorian train. Selena is on the we need to kill him because he's not there anymore train. So while they're trying to deal with that, we get introduced to a new character, Manon. So Manon is an Iron Teeth witch. She was born and bred to be cruel. She knows nothing other than killing Crokins, a witch, a specific like strand of witch that cursed her people so that she could no longer live in the land that she wants to. So she's heir to the Iron Teeth Blackbeak clan, and she is trying to help her people to get back to the Wastes. And so she starts to train with some other of her witches, and they are training to be aerial units for the king's army. So they are training to fly wyverns so that they can be their air force essentially. And that's terrifying that we're getting that addition, but it's fine because Manon seems like she's gonna flip to our side because we get introduced to another character who's with Manon. So Manon was introduced in Heir of Fire. I forgot about that. So we're gonna talk about Manon now, and we're just gonna go over everything that she did in Heir of Fire as well. So Manon, introduced in Heir of Fire, she trains with her Iron Teeth Legion, and so from there she gets transferred to Morath as wing leader with her wyvern Abraxas. So that's where she's at, and so now we open up with Manon in Abraxas, and she meets Alide. Alide is one of Terrasen's ladies, but she was a child when Terrasen fell, so she was taken in by her uncle, who kept her locked up in a tower, and she's got this limp because she broke her ankle and her uncle never let her get that healed, and so she's just been kind of used and abused where she's at. So she meets Manon, and Manon kind of reaches out to her and helps her out a little bit. Manon learns that she has an actual heart, which is awesome. Like, go hearts. So Manon starts to kind of help out Alide and get her out from under the wing of her uncle so that she isn't as threatened by Vernon. And so in doing that, Manon starts to show that she really can be good and better. But at one point in the book, Manon and her 13 like Iron Teeth witches that are behind her, like her closest companions, they are sent to go see this new war creation that has been made. And when they do this, they run into Dorian, they run into our whole crew who's trying to rescue Lysandra at the time. At this time, because they left, Alide gets actually captured by Vernon. I mean, not really captured, but she gets put in prison by Vernon, and she is stuck there for a minute. So let's jump to where Manon went. So Lysandra got kidnapped. Our crew wanted to help her and save her. So they went to go save her, and at the same time, they were like, let's kill Dorian while we're at it. They go to go save Lysandra, kill Dorian. They miss the mark on Dorian. They don't get the chance to kill him. But they are able to rescue Lysandra, and our heroes wind up meeting. So Manon winds up meeting Aelin. Aelin and Manon have a really badass fight sequence. I really enjoyed their fight overall. It winds up happening that the little island that they're on, the bridges start to collapse around it. So they have to like get off. Manon is stuck where she's at, and so Aelin saves her. And so Manon now feels like she owes Aelin a life debt. And this is really what I think starts Manon on that path to redemption, to being able to get out of where she's at and to not be this bad person leading bad people to do bad things. Also in Morath, something that's going on is we've got lots of creatures being created for the Dark Army, and all of these creatures are just really scary. Like the witches being used to breed some of these creatures, which is really uncomfortable. Like that whole situation it had my skin crawling, honestly, because I was like, how? Like, how do you just let people do, like, That's not, like, I don't, so uncomfortable. So luckily, when Manon gets back to Morath, we're able to kind of put a stop to that, and we're able to also use Kaltain, who also happens to be at Morath, which was really nice. Well, Morath is where Duke Parrington is, so it makes sense that she was there. But she's there in Morath with Duke Parrington, and she has this, like, stone embedded in her. It's a word key. Manon didn't know that, but it's okay. She's got a word key. And so Kaltain, you know, she was made into one of the Valg princes. She had the collar on her, but she was able to actually fight it off, which led Manon to believe that because of her encounter with Dorian, that he was still in there, he could still be saved. And so Manon was able to go and leave a message for our heroes that Dorian could be saved. Now, before she's able to do that though, we have to rescue Elide, because Elide is still locked in a dungeon. Kaltain and Manon wind up pairing up to kind of rescue her. So Manon is going through the dungeons to try and find Elide, and she finds her, and Elide is in a really compromised position. It makes me uncomfortable again. Everything that happens in Morath just makes my skin crawl. It makes me uncomfortable, especially with what was going on with Elide. So luckily, Manon is able to save her, and we run into Kaltain, who is able to use her magical abilities, especially given the fact that she's fought off this Valg prince, to destroy an entire area of Morath. In the process, killing herself, but also giving the word key to Manon with a little scrap of cloth from a cloak that she was given from Selena when she was in prison, because Selena took pity on her and gave her a cloth. And so Kaltain was repaying that favor. And so now Selena is starting to get these kind of debts for her, and that's really powerful that she's able to get people to honor their debts, but also she's able to do it in a way where it doesn't feel like they're paying back a debt. They are just being nice to someone who is nice to them. She's starting to build these really strong relationships, and so I think that really shows how she's going to come in and be a really strong leader at the end of the series. Now Elide has a word key, and she has escaped from Morath, and Manon does not have to take the fall for her being escaped because she can just blame Kaltain. Manon's in the clear, so Manon is good to go. Elide is on the run. That's where they leave off. Manon leaves the message that Dorian is still in there, and so now our heroes are focusing on bringing back magic and killing Dorian. Well, bringing back Dorian. Their plans change because, you know, Manon leaves the message. In order to bring back magic, they have to take down the clock tower in the castle. So there's a lot of breaking and entering that has to be done, and it's kind of a little bit of a scary moment. Rowan and Aedion, their job is to go and blow up the clock tower. Well, they go to do that, but they get cornered by a bunch of word hounds, which they thought they had taken care of, but, you know, they had it, because if you don't see a body, they aren't dead. It's fine. They get stuck there. They're not able to blow up the clock tower. So Aelin has to stall for a little bit more time. And so she's just trying to stall for time, separate Dorian from the king so that she can try to free him from his Valg prince. And so she has a little ring that she is able to give him to get him free. Dorian is able to get free, but the king comes in and tells Dorian that Cole is dead. But this happens to coincide with a very perfectly timed blown up clock tower, because our heroes in the little clock tower area, they got saved by Lorcan, who realized that Aedion was one of his friend's sons. We have a blown up clock tower. We have magic back. Lysandra is apparently a shapeshifter, which was pretty cool. I am so excited to see how that gets used in the rest of the series. And then Dorian is told that Cole is dead, and he does exactly what he did when Sorsha died, except on a much grander scale. He destroys the entire glass castle. Luckily though, Aelin is able to protect him. They live, but the glass castle is destroyed because Aelin was able to slip him an amulet of protection, which was the Eye of Elena or something, which just protects him. Because she slipped him that, he survived as well, but he wound up having a spine injury that caused him to lose the ability to use his legs. So that's where that leaves him. And now Dorian is king because the king died in the whole blowing up of the glass castle thing. But before he died, we learned that Duke Parrington is actually one of the Valg kings. And so we now know that that's going to be something that we're going to have to deal with in the next books, because he isn't the king. You know, we all thought the king was the king, but it was really Duke Parrington all along. Dorian is now king of Adarlan. Cole is just a lord now because he can't be captain of the guard. Nissarin, one of the rebels that was working with them, is captain of the guard. Lysandra is a shapeshifter, and she's going to be a member of Aelin's court. Aedion is Aelin's captain of guard. Rowan is Aelin's boyfriend now. They're getting it on now. And that is where we're at with all of our characters. And then Manon is in Morath, and Elite is on the run. I'll see you in my next video. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment. I would love to keep discussing this series with you guys. Bye!